In the heart of Nigeria, a sinister pattern had emerged. Every Valentine's Day, reports surfaced of young women found dead, their bodies mutilated in various cities across the nation. The media had termed these tragedies the Valentine sacrifices. Unknown to many, a single man orchestrated this heinous act, a man whose charm and affluence masked a darkness within. Emeka was a master of deception. Tall, handsome, and always impeccably dressed. He exuded an aura of success that drew people in. To the outside world, he was a successful entrepreneur, but beneath this facade lay a dangerous individual. Emeka was an internet fraudster, commonly known in Nigeria as Yahoo Boy. He had taken his fraudulent activities to a diabolical level, engaging in ritualistic practices to amass wealth. His modus operandi was chilling consistent. Each year, he would seduce a young university woman, shower her with gifts and affection, only to sacrifice her on Valentine's Day. In the bustling city of Ibadan, Emeka set his sight on his next target. The University of Ibadan was teeming with young, ambitious women, ideal prey for his sinister plans. It was here that he noticed Chimdi, a 21-year-old literature student known for her beauty and intelligence. Unlike his previous targets, Chimdi was reserved and focused on her studies, making the challenge of winning her over all the more enticing for Emeka. Emeka orchestrated their first meeting at a quaint cafe near the university campus. He positioned himself at a table adjacent to hers, pretending to be engrossed in a novel. Noticing her glance at his book, he seized the opportunity. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice you're reading Things Fall Apart. It is one of my favorites." Chimdi looked up, surprised. "Oh, really? It's a required text for my African literature class. Chinwe Achebe's portrait of pre-colonial life is profound. Mind if I join you?" She hesitated for a moment but nodded. "Sure, why not?" Their conversation flowed effortlessly, delving into themes of literature, culture, and personal aspirations. Emeka's knowledge and charm were captivating, and Chimdi found herself intrigued by this enigmatic stranger. Over the following weeks, Emeka intensified his pursuit. He sent Chimdi bouquets of roses, each accompanied by handwritten notes quoting her favorite authors. He gifted her a limited edition copy of a novel she had mentioned and took her to exclusive art galleries and upscale restaurants. One evening, after a lavish dinner, Emeka handed Chimdi a small velvet box. "What is this?" she asked, eyes wide with surprise. "Open it and see," he said. Inside was a delicate gold necklace, adorned with a pendant in the shape of a quill, a symbol of her passion for writing. "Emeka, this is too much. I can't accept it," she said. "Please, Chimdi, it is a token of my admiration for you. You deserve nothing but the best." Touched by his gesture, Chimdi accepted the gift, unaware of the darkness that lurked behind his generosity. Chimdi's friends began to notice the sudden influx of luxury in her life. During a study group session, her closest friend Ada couldn't contain her curiosity. "Chimdi, you've been glowing lately. What is going on, girl?" Blushing, Chimdi replied, "I've met someone. His name is Emeka." "Emeka? Please, girl, tell me more." Chimdi recounted their meetings, the gifts, and the experiences they had shared. Girl, this is amazing. You are so lucky, Ada exclaimed, examining the coil pendant. But don't you think it's a bit too much? Too soon? He is just generous, Ada. Besides, it's not like guys like him come around every day. I get that, Chimdi, but please be careful. Sometimes, when things seem too good to be true, they are. Chimdi nodded, but her infatuation with Emeka overshadowed any reservations. As Valentine's Day approached, Emeka suggested a getaway to a secluded villa on the outskirts of Ibadan. I want us to have a special evening, just the two of us. Chimdi hesitated. I don't know, Emeka. It seems a bit sudden. Trust me, Chimdi. I promise it will be a night to remember. After some persuasion, she agreed, convinced by his charm and the depth of their connection. As Valentine's Day approached, Chimdi couldn't ignore the unsettling news circulating on social media. Reports of young women found dead, their bodies mutilated, had become disturbingly common on this particular day. The term Valentine sacrifice was trending, with many expressing fear and outrage over these heinous acts. One evening, while scrolling through her phone, Chimdi came across a detailed article discussing the rise of ritual killings in Nigeria, especially targeting young women. The article highlighted the modus operandi of the perpetrators, charming men who lured unsuspecting victims with gifts and affection, only to sacrifice them for wealth and power. A chill ran down her spine as she read. The description early mirrored her whirlwind romance with Emeka. Doubt began to creep in, and she felt an overwhelming urge to confide in someone. The next day, Chimdi met with her best friend Ada at their favorite cafe on campus. Ada, have you heard about these so-called Valentine sacrifices? Chimdi asked, trying to sound casual. Ada nodded, her expression serious. Yes, it is all over the news. It is so terrifying. Why do you ask, girl? I don't know. It's just been on my mind lately. Ada reached across the table, placing a reassuring hand on Chimdi's. Hey, are you okay? Is something bothering you? Chimdi hesitated, then shook her head. No, I'm fine. I'm just a little bit overwhelmed with everything. Despite her words, a seed of doubt had been planted, and Ada couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. On Valentine's Day, Emeka arrived to pick Uduak up for their planned getaway. He was his usual charming self, but Chimdi couldn't ignore the nagging feeling of unease that had settled in her chest. As they drove to the secluded villa, Chimdi noticed that the route became increasingly desolate. Tall trees lined up the narrow road, casting long shadows as the sun began to set. Emeka, are we almost there? She asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Yes, just a little further. I promise it will be worth it. They finally arrived at an old, grand villa. Its architecture reminiscent of colonial times. The building stood isolated, with no other houses in sight. It's beautiful, Chimdi said, though her voice lacked enthusiasm. I knew you would like it. Come, let's go inside. Inside the villa was elegantly furnished, but there was an air stillness that made Chimdi uneasy. As Emeka led her through the dimly lit corridors, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Emeka, can I use the bathroom? she asked, needing a moment alone to collect her thoughts. Of course, he said. It's just down the hall to the right. Chimdi walked down the hallway, her footsteps echoing on the wooden floor. As she passed by a partially open door, she noticed a faint, metallic smell. Curiosity got the better of her, and she gently pushed the door open. Inside, she was horrified to find ritualistic symbols drawn on the floor, candles arranged in a circle, and what looked like dried blood stains. Her heart raced, and she felt a wave of nausea. Panicking, she quickly took out her phone and texted Ada. Ada, I am scared. I think Emeka might be involved in all those ritual killings. I'm at a secluded villa with him. Please, if anything happens to me, tell everyone. She sent her location along with the message, hoping Ada would understand the gravity of the situation. Determined to protect others, Chimdi decided to gather evidence. She discreetly took photos of the room and sent them to Ada. She knew that confronting Emeka directly could be dangerous, so she planned to act normal and look for an opportunity to escape. Returning to the main room, she forced a smile. Sorry for the delay. Shall we have dinner? Emeka smiled, but there was a glint in his eyes that sent chills down her spine. Of course, let's enjoy our evening. Meanwhile, Ada received Chimdi's messages and was immediately alarmed. She tried calling Chimdi, but there was no answer. Realizing the urgency, she decided to act. Ada took to her Instagram page, where she had a significant following, and posted, Urgent, my friend Chimdi is in danger. She went to a secluded villa with a man named Emeka, who we suspect is involved in the Valentine sacrifices. Please, if anyone has information or can help, contact the authorities immediately. She included the location Chimdi had sent and tagged local news outlets and influencers, hoping to amplify the message. Back at the villa, as the evening progressed, Emeka's demeanor became increasingly unsettling. Chimdi's earlier discovery weighed heavily on her mind, but she maintained her composure, waiting for the right moment to act. Chimdi, you've been quiet. Is everything all right? Emeka inquired, his gaze piercing. I'm fine. I'm just a bit tired, she replied, forcing a smile. Sensing her discomfort, Emeka suggested, why don't you rest for a while? There's a cozy room upstairs. Seeing an opportunity, Chimdi nodded. That sounds good. He led her to a dimly lit bedroom. I'll be downstairs, he said, if you need anything. Once alone, Chimdi locked the door and frantically searched for another way out. The windows were barred and there was no other exit. Desperation set in. Meanwhile, Ada's social media post had gained traction. Concerned friends and followers began sharing the information, tagging authorities and local news outlets. The hashtag Save Chimdi started trending, drawing widespread attention. A local journalist picked up the story and contacted the police, providing them with the villa's location. Recognizing the urgency, a team was dispatched immediately. Back at the villa, Chimdi heard footsteps approaching. Her heart raced as the door handle turned. Chimdi, are you awake? Emeka's voice called out. Thinking quickly, she responded, Yes, just a moment. She grabbed her phone and sent a final message to Ada. If I don't make it, tell my story. Warn others. Summoning courage, she unlocked the door. Hi, Emeka. I thought you might be hungry, he said. Let's go have dinner. As they descended the stairs, the sounds of sirens pierced the air. Emeka's expression shifted from confusion to realization. What did you do? He demanded, grabbing her arm. Let me go! Chimdi shouted, struggling. Before he could react, the front door burst open and police officers stormed in. Hands in the air, one officer commanded. Emeka released Chimdi and attempted to flee, but he was quickly apprehended. Chimdi was escorted to safety, her body trembling from the ordeal. Ada arrived shortly after, embracing her tightly. Thank God you are safe, Ada whispered, tears streaming down her face. It is over, Chimdi replied, her voice shaky. In the days that followed, Emeka's crimes were exposed, linking him to multiple Valentine sacrifices cases. Chimdi's bravery and Ada's swift actions had not only saved her life, but also brought a dangerous criminal to justice. Chimdi decided to share her story publicly, hoping to warn others about the dangers lurking behind charming facades. Her testimony served as a powerful reminder of the importance of vigilance and the strength found in friendship. The media coverage of Chimdi's experience led to increased awareness about ritual killings in Nigeria. Chimdi's ordeal became a catalyst for change, ensuring that future Valentine days will be celebrated with love and safety, free from the shadow of fear. It is Valentine season, and yes, there will be those around us that will get lavishly celebrated. Don't envy them. Don't go out of your way to try and get that for yourself. Please be wise. Remember that everything you desire, you do deserve it. With time, it's going to come to you. With time, you will have someone. If you don't have right now, you have someone that will go to the end of the earth just to celebrate you. And we give you every day as a Valentine's Day. So please stay safe out there. And remember, I love you. You love you. God loves you. Mwah! Happy Valentine's!